The undergraduate students of this university suddenly find themselves caught up in a lethal and terrifying game of life and death. None of them know who initiated this game, why it was started, or how it can be stopped. Guys, this video is going to be absolutely fire and incredibly intense, so please watch the whole thing patiently. Suddenly, a giant Daruma doll enters the university, causing chaos throughout the classroom, and that's when the terrifying game of death begins. The rule is simple: whoever moves, their head will instantly explode. The Daruma doll turns its back for a short period of time. At this moment, everyone is crying and screaming in fear because no one can understand what is actually about to happen. Some of them try to escape from there, but the moment they start to run away, bang, heads explode and bodies keep falling. In this terrifying and dire situation, there is one person who remains calm, a boy named Satake. He tells everyone they need to understand what this game actually is, and he explains that this doll is Daruma-san, the symbol of death. Just then, they notice that there is a button on the back of the Daruma. If they can press the button, the game will end. After learning this, one person desperately jumps forward to press the button, but as soon as he approaches the Daruma, his head explodes. He doesn't even get the chance to press the button. At that moment, everyone else realizes that the task is not easy at all. There's absolutely no way to escape today. Then, to their surprise, they see that a 1 o'clock timer is set on the back of the Daruma. The remaining time is quickly running out. This means that if they can't press the button within that time, every single person in the room will die. So, one by one, they desperately try to press the button, but the result is zero. They fall to their deaths one after another. With their heads exploding, in the end, only two survive, Shun and Sata. Meanwhile, the timer is almost up. At that moment, Sata tells Shun, "Friend, jump hard over my shoulders." To save his life, Shun jumps with all his strength. This time, at the very last second, he manages to press the button. Now, Daruma announces in a strong voice, "The game is over." They shout with joy and give each other a like. But just then, stop. Satake's head explodes. Now the real truth becomes clear. In this game, only the one who manages to press the button can survive. In other words, Shun is the sole winner. Now Shun asks Daruma, "Can I return to my normal life?" Daruma then bursts into loud laughter and says, "You are the 1 o'clock mouse, and the cat is coming." Just then, Ichika arrives there. She reveals that the same thing happened in her class as well. She pressed the button and became the winner. Shun wants to call the police, but there is no network. Daruma again says, "The cat is coming." Hearing this, the two of them run away desperately. But what's this? All the doors in front are closed. After trying hard, they manage to open only one door, and through that door, they enter the university gymnasium. The door slams shut behind them again, but as soon as they enter, they are shocked. Some students are standing here dressed in mouse costumes. And just then, a strange sound echoes. To escape from here, they must throw the ball into the cat's collar basket. But the question is, which cat? They don't have to wait long for the answer. Suddenly, a huge, terrifying cat appears before them and starts wreaking havoc. It rampages throughout the gymnasium room, chasing everyone. In a desperate attempt to save their lives, everyone starts running in all directions. But this monstrous cat begins to devour them one by one. Death spreads everywhere. And just then, something like a basketball rolls in front of them, with a 9-minute timer set on it. No one has any doubts left. If they can throw the ball into the basket hanging from the cat's neck within these 9 minutes, it will all be over. Amidst this parade of death, Ichika throws the ball to Yuji Kawar, who is an excellent basketball player, and he feels as if he has been training his whole life just for this moment. This time, he leaps in slow motion. Everyone feels that maybe the game will finally end now, but no, the giant cat strikes Oshikawa with a terrifying claw, and he dies right there. After that, the cat goes on another rampage, killing the others one by one. At that moment, Shun notices something at 1 o'clock. The cat only eats people wearing mouse costumes. He shouts this out to everyone. As a result, everyone quickly takes off their costumes. The cat stays quiet for a while, but just a few moments later, it starts its terrifying claw attacks again. The timer now shows only 3 minutes left. When the cat is about to eat Ichika, Shun deliberately puts on a mouse costume to distract the cat. He alone keeps fending off all the cat's attacks, while the others just stand there in shock. Then, to everyone's surprise, the cat suddenly starts talking. It says, "My back is itching. I can't sleep. At that moment, Shun realizes that he can understand the cat because he's wearing the mouse costume. Shun jumps up and climbs straight onto the cat's back, scratching it vigorously, but it doesn't work. Then Ichika also climbs up to scratch, and gradually the cat starts to calm down. After that, everyone joins in, frantically scratching its back. Eventually, the cat falls asleep, snoring. They realize this is their chance to get the bell from the cat's neck. They cut the bell to drop it, but just then, everyone starts arguing because they think that whoever throws the bell into the basket will be the only one to survive. But their intense quarrel and the commotion wake the cat up again, and it goes on a rampage, attacking everyone once more. This time, there's no time to put it back to sleep. Ichika and Shun run away, but after a while, they come back with two balls, one basketball and the other a regular ball. The cat's eyes dart around, blinking as it looks in all directions. The cat can't figure out which way to look. First, Ichika lunges toward one of the balls. She throws her ball toward the basket, and the cat, swiping at her, tears at her clothes and pants. But Ichika manages to escape with cleverness. Then Shun throws his ball, and this is the real ball. It was just about to go into the basket at the cat's throat. Just then, Amaya suddenly leaps in and blocks the ball from entering the basket, bringing an end to this procession of death. But this time, the cat calmly explains that only 3 have survived this game: Amaya, Asun, and Ichika. Amaya kills the remaining person, declaring that only the strong survive. As he prepares to kill Ichika, the cat suddenly starts emitting smoke from its body. Everyone loses consciousness from the smoke. This is happening all over the country. News reports are being broadcast, saying a terrible incident has occurred simultaneously in all schools. Some are even calling it a terrorist attack. Among all this, millions of students have died. Then we see many huge cube-shaped objects floating in the sky above the city. Inside those cubes are all the surviving students. Not just the people of the country, even we can't understand what's really happening. Then a scientist says, I think this is an alien attack because this is far beyond human knowledge. Now the scene shifts to inside one of the cubes, where Shock wakes up. He sees that with him in the same room is his old friend, whom he hasn't seen in 3 years. That's because Shock changed universities 3 years ago. Also in the room are Tira and Tauka. All 4 of them have come from different universities. At that moment, some text appears on the screen in the room. It says, a deadly game is about to begin with you, and if you can defeat your opponents in this game, you will get the key to escape from this cube. Hearing this, they realize that everything they're seeing is real. All of them are trapped inside the cube. Suddenly, some dolls appear there. Because it's time for the next game, the dolls start explaining the rules. They say that they will blindfold each student one by one, and the dolls will circle around the student while singing a song. The student then has to say something. At that moment, they have to say which doll is standing behind them. They only have 10 seconds. Within those 10 seconds, they must say who is standing behind them. If they get it wrong, death is certain. First, Tira is blindfolded. The dolls start circling around her singing, but Tira trembles in fear and gives the wrong answer. Then the dolls say, thank you for participating. After that, the dolls shoot a kind of beam from their eyes and paralyze Tira. Then she is beaten. Next, it's Tauka's turn, and the same thing happens to him. The only difference is that he dies in an even more terrifying way, although that part is not shown. Shock stands frozen in grief, fear, and terror. Then Shun says, now I'll play Shun. He activates his inner strength, meaning his chakra, and finally manages to say who is behind him. After that, the Kokeshi dolls explode. From there, a key appears at 1 o'clock. Using that key, they open the door and get out. Just then, they see Shoko running towards them. Kokeshi is chasing after her, but at the right moment, Shoku and Shun grab each other's hands, and at that moment, the Kokeshi stops and lets them go. Shoko tells Shun, don't let go of my hand. Here, it's clear that since Shun was the winner, the Kokeshi can't do anything as long as they're touching him. Just then, they hear another scream at 1 o'clock, and another girl is being chased. Shun then lets go of Shoko's hand and jumps to grab the girl's hand because he likes her. After that, Shoko and Maeda find a counter at 1 o'clock where the key needs to be inserted, and there's also a timer running there. Everyone gathers there and sees that they only have 4 o'clock left, but they need 7 o'clock. Just then, suddenly, 3 more keys are found. Amaya brought these keys. He killed his own teammate because he needed just 1 less person in the group to survive. Altogether, the 7 of them insert the keys before the timer runs out. After that, they're told to put on some clothes that are there. As soon as they put on the clothes, a cave opens up from there at 1 o'clock and everyone enters it. Then, the 7 of them arrive at a huge ice palace at 1 o'clock. Just then, a massive, terrifying bear suddenly appears. The bear says, "I will ask you some questions. The rules are very simple. If everyone tells the truth, the game ends, but if anyone lies, they will be sacrificed." The first question, "What is your favorite food?" Everyone says the name of their favorite food, but suddenly the bear gets angry because someone has lied. The bear says, "You have 2 minutes. Hand over the liar to me. Otherwise, everyone will die." Everyone starts arguing about who said what food and who lied, eventually blaming Yukio. Because Yukio says his favorite food is coriander leaves, everyone says, "How is that even a food?" The bear gives Yukio a terrible punch, and right there, he died. The game continues. Then comes the second question. Does anyone in this group like Shun? All the boys say no. Amaya says, "I don't really talk to him much, but yes, I do like him." Ichika says, "I've known him since childhood and I have feelings for him." Shoko also says, "Yes, I like him too." The boys joke, "Wow, Shun is a total playboy," because half the girls in the group like Shun. But just then, the bear gets angry again, because once more, someone has lied. The bear tells them they have only 2 minutes to hand over the liar. At that moment, Ichika accuses Amaya first. She says that in these 2 questions, Amaya deliberately lied, just to get all of us killed. But Amaya calmly replies, "To me, love and death are the same thing." After hearing this, the bear says that this game is now filled with betrayal, suspicion, and distrust. He reveals that there is a liar among the group who is working for him. That person is lying just to get everyone killed. Ichika and Sho didn't know Shuk beforehand, but Ichika and Amaya go to the same school, so Ichika did know Shu. But everyone starts to believe that Shu really had absolutely no connection with Shuka, just as he said. Both Ichika and Shun try to save Shuka. They say, "We've known Shuka for many years," but no one is willing to listen to them. In the end, everyone blames Shuk. With tearful eyes, Shuk says to Shun, "I really love you." Just then, the bear kills Shuk. Shun breaks down because he knew that Shuk hadn't lied. Then, before the next question is even asked, Shun realizes who the real liar is. He wonders, is it Amaya or Ichika, or is it no one at all? The real liar is the bear itself. Shun notices the blood on Shuk and realizes that such a wound couldn't have been caused by the bear's attack. That wasn't actually a white bear. Suddenly, the bear attacks but falls into the water. As soon as it hits the water, its body starts to burn. Then the real truth is revealed. It is a monster with an inhuman heart. The game ends here. 5 people survive. Then, suddenly, these 5 appear inside the temple. Just then, the Matryoshka doll arrives and announces that this is the final game. The name of the final game is Kick the Can. In English, it's called Kick the Can. It's similar to the hide and seek or cops and robbers games we played as children, but much more terrifying. The rules are even more terrifying. Among the 5, one person has to be the monster or the thief. Their job is to place a tin can or lata in the center of a circle and find the others. The remaining 4 must hide from the monster's sight. The rule for being captured is if the monster spots someone hiding, they will call out their name and run to the center of the circle to touch the can or lata. They will step on it with their foot. As soon as they do this, that person is caught and will be locked up in the cage at 1 o'clock. But if someone manages to kick the can before the monster steps on it, then everyone trapped in the cage will be saved. However, here's the problem. If you kick the can, it will explode. That means to save the others, someone will have to sacrifice themselves. The game ends when the monster catches 3 people or someone kicks the can. At the end, Matryoshka says, "Let the fun begin." In this game, I have to be the monster or the thief. Then everyone hides, and Amaya pushes Matryoshka, knocking down the can or tin container. Maida and Yuko know they have enough time to stay hidden. But just then, Amaya shows up and catches them, leaving only 2 people. This time, Amaya gets angry at Shun and Ichika. Amaya catches Ichika, and only Shun is left. Shun realizes that time is limited. They have to finish the game before sunset. Amaya shouts loudly at Shun, telling him, "You can come out. I've caught 3 people. Now you'll survive because you're lucky." But Ichika warns Shun, "Don't trust her. Amaya will trick you." Amaya calmly says, "Trust me." Finally, Shun slowly steps out, but he's wearing a helmet and a special worn-out tattered outfit. Everyone wonders what's happening. Amaya approaches to remove the helmet, but as soon as Amaya takes off Shun's helmet, Shun ties her to himself with a chain so that after seeing Amaya, Shun can't run and step on that ladder. Shun then starts pulling the chain, and while backing up, he falls into the water behind the wall, and he ties the chain to his outfit. Meanwhile, Amaya keeps pulling on the chain from above. On the other hand, Shun slips out of that heavy outfit and climbs up. Both of them move toward the ladder together to kick it down before Amaya can. but Shun gets there first and kicks the ladder down with his foot. Later, the sun sets, and since Shun won the game against the monster or thief, the other three are also freed from the cage. At the end of the game, Matryoshka announces Shun as the winner because he freed everyone. Amaya lost, but no one died. Everyone bursts into joyful celebration. This time, Matryoshka gives everyone ice cream as a reward. Everyone is happy. Shun invites Ichika to go outside, while Amaya is left feeling disappointed. Just as everything seems to be passing over her head, Ichika notices something on her ice cream stick. Suddenly, she starts behaving strangely. Shun sees that on his own ice cream stick, it says, "Stay alive." Just then, Matryoshka says, "It took a lot of skill for you all to get here, but in the end, what you needed most was luck." Ichika tells Shun, "I really wanted to go outside with you, but on my ice cream stick, it says die." And with that, she bids Shun farewell. At that very moment, Matryoshka emits a powerful beam from her eyes. As a result, Shun, Amaya, and everyone else whose ice cream stick also said die are killed. Now, Shun starts to wonder what this is and why it's happening. Suddenly, Shun and Amaya are transported onto that cube. There, aliens appear before them and say, "We are the victors." And with that, the movie ends here. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel to get the next video first, and don't forget to share your valuable feedback in the comments. Thank you, everyone.